What lies beneath procrastination is nothing more than a fear of being rejected, a fear of not being good enough. I get letters all the time asking me, how can I stop procrastinating? I procrastinate, I self-sabotage, I put everything off, and I never get stuff done. I procrastinate and I just don't leave enough time to finish things. So I'm going to tell you some specific, really effective techniques to stop you procrastinating. Many of my clients have come in across the years with problems of procrastinating. You know what? They all go back to the same thing, a fear of rejection. I'm going to write this book, produce this article, do something, but inside I'm really scared it won't be good enough. And the fear of failing, the fear of rejection is so bad. Instead of doing what I know I could do, I procrastinate and I never do it. You know when you never do it, you know why you never do it? Because it's easier to go, well, I coulda, woulda, shoulda, written that book, written that play, been on stage, got promoted, gone after the job of my dreams. But I had this problem, you see, with procrastination, and so I never did it. That is less painful than going, I went after my dreams and they went, oh no, we don't want you. Oh no, we don't like that book. Oh no, that doesn't interest us at all. So it's a fear of failure and a fear of rejection. And the fear of rejection is really powerful because not that long ago, we could die from rejection. If you lived in a tribe and you didn't conform and they banished you or cast you out, you might die. And we have this primitive fear, I'll die if I get rejected. No, you won't. No, you won't. You'll bounce back and be stronger than ever. So first of all, understand what I call what lies beneath. What lies beneath procrastination is nothing more than a fear of being rejected, a fear of not being good enough. And if you have that fear, you're in very good company. It's the most common fear in the world. So now you understand it. Okay, I'm lying on the sofa watching Netflix and eating potato chips when I should be working on my business, working on my website, working on my talk, working on something I'm making. And I'm not doing it in case I get rejected. And then you tell yourself the truth. You know what? The only person who can reject me is me. The only person who has the power to reject me is me. And when you understand that you can't really be rejected, and the days of dying from rejection went a long time ago. Years ago, survival was a numbers game. You belong to a tribe. There's a lot of you. You're safe. Today, you can live in an apartment, get Amazon to deliver everything, never see a soul, and you won't die. So understand the fear of rejection. But how do you overcome it? Well, that's the first step. I'm doing this because I'm scared of rejection. But I'm actually now rejecting myself. I'm stifling my talents. I'm shutting down who I am, and I can't be rejected. The second thing is to recognize that your mind always does what it thinks you want. When you say it would kill me if I were opened a business and it failed, it would kill me if I put all my money in this product and nobody bought it. And one goes, don't do it, procrastinate. And now you have to understand how to dialogue with your mind. And this is what you do. You go, I want this. I want it. I want it. I want it. I have chosen it, chosen it, chosen it. And I have chosen to feel great about it. Those two sentences, I've chosen to do this and chosen to feel great about it. And I want this, will change your mind. So you probably know that 25% of people who buy a membership to a gym never go. They plan to, they intend to, and they just don't go. Maybe they go once or twice, then they don't go again. So you got a gym membership. Maybe you've got the DVD in your living room. Maybe you've got the exercise rope and the exercise ball and the dyno bands. They're all there, and you're not doing it. So how can you make yourself do it? First of all, you go, I want to work out. I love working out. I feel so great when I'm working out. I've chosen to work out and chosen to love it, love it, love it. And that will get you to the gym. And then when you're on the machines, in the class, say it again. I love this. I love it, love it, love it, want it, want it, want it. I've chosen this. and chosen to feel great. You see, your mind really has no idea whether what you're telling it is right or wrong, true or false, good or bad. I used to work with very overweight celebrities. I'd take them training with Marines, and the Marines would be running in snow, in mud, in rain, and they'd sing a song, I'm a Marine, bring it on. And the celebrity would go, oh no, it's too muddy, it's too cold, my legs hurt, my knees hurt. And you see, they told their mind, I don't want to do this. And the mind said, stop. When the Marines told their mind, I want to do this, I love this, I love running in cold and rain, and they did it. Many of our clients say, I got a speaking gig and I was so terrified until you told me the truth. Your mind cannot tell the difference between fear and excitement. Instead of saying, oh God, I'm so nervous, I'm so excited, I want it, I want it, I want it. I have chosen it and chosen to feel great. I love speaking on stage. I love going to my boss with ideas. I love talking to potential customers. I love putting myself out there and showing the world who I am and what I have to say. And you see, it's what I call lie, cheat, and steal. Lie to your mind, cheat fear, cheat procrastination, steal back the phenomenal confidence you were born with. No baby is born going, oh, I love this crib so much, I'll just stay here. They can't wait to get out. They're little escape artists. They're always wriggling and running and jumping and moving. And when they go, hey, mummy, look at me in the pool, look at me on the slide, look at me on the swing. Go and sit at a children's park or playground, hang around at a pool. And there's all the kids going, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. Because they don't have procrastination. They don't have fear of rejection. The fear of rejection is acquired. Procrastination is acquired. Anyone try to keep their kid in bed on Christmas morning, I would be shocked because they're out of bed at 5 a.m. because they're so excited on their birthday. They're excited. They don't know what procrastination is. And that's good news for all of you because it means you learnt it, you acquired it, and guess what? You can reactivate, remanifest, regenerate, and recreate forever that passion for life you were born with. A little kid that would jump in a puddle and think it was exciting. Go out in all kinds of weather and find everything thrilling and exciting. Be excited by storms and rain and sun and snow. You can't keep little kids on the couch. They are balls of energy. And you were born with phenomenal self-belief. I want you to reactivate it, to remanifest it, to regenerate it now by using those magic words. I have chosen this and chosen to feel great about it. I want this. So if you're lying on the couch, binge watching a series, say, I've chosen to switch this off, to apply myself to work, and I've chosen to feel great about it, to feel really, really great about it. And one more thing, which is very, very important. Human beings are wired to work for a reward. And then they feel great about themselves. As kids, we know school says, okay, you do lessons, and then you get playtime. That's your reward. Parents know to say, tidy your room, and then you can have cake. Finish your lunch, and then you can go out to play. So small children do very well if they get the reward. As we get older, we forget. And we come in and go, oh, I've got all this work to do. My favorite show is on. And we think, I'll watch the show and then I'll do the work. I'll eat a lovely dinner and then I'll do that. And we don't do it. And what I find immensely helpful is to remind myself of the reward. I'm going to make a yummy coffee, a great smoothie, and eat something yummy. But first, I'm going to earn that. I'm going to make a few phone calls I don't want to make, look through my computer and do a bit of stuff, and I'm going to earn that reward. And when I come in at night, it's like, oh, my favorite show is on later. It's Succession or something I love, Billions. But first of all, I'm going to do something I don't really want to do, make some calls, do some admin, and that's my reward. When I finish the calls, going to watch that show. And so if you can always give yourself a reward for something you're going to do, you feel so great. If you take the reward up front, you never feel you've earned it. You lie on the sofa going, yeah, I'm not really enjoying this show, because in the back of my mind I'm thinking I coulda, woulda, shoulda done that work. I should have done that first. But if you do the carrot and stick, make 3 calls and then have the most amazing breakfast. I'm going to make 2 calls and then reward myself with some screen time. I'm going to work on my website, do something important, and then sit down and watch my favorite show and really enjoy it because I've earned it. Earn your reward. Tell yourself, I want this, want this, want it. I've chosen to work first, take the reward second. I've chosen to feel great about it. Lie, cheat, and steal. If you tell your mind what you want, I want to be motivated. I want to move forwards, to do things first, to acquire, to weld in, wire in, fire in those habits of success until I feel like I've always had them. Your mind goes, oh, well, I can help you out here. If you go, I can't be bothered with any of that. It's too tiring, too hard, too boring. Your mind goes, yeah, watch more Netflix, eat more potato chips. It does what you tell it. Tell it better things, and it will do better things. Your mind works for you. Don't work for it. The difference between success and failure is often nothing more than this. People who have success also have self-discipline. I'm Marisa Peer, and today I'm going to show you how to adopt the habits of self-discipline. And when you adopt them and make them your own, success will follow. I meet people all the time that really struggle with self-discipline because they have this interesting belief it's something you're born with, and that's not true. No baby is born with discipline. In fact, they find it very hard to do that. Discipline is something you acquire. It's like a muscle. If you work it, it gets better. So I'm going to tell you some absolute secrets of people who appear to be naturally disciplined. They're not. I've worked with many, many Olympic athletes. They don't go, yay, it's snowing, I'm going to get up and go out and train today. They have to keep saying, I want that Olympic medal, and this is the price I'm going to pay to get the Olympic medal. So before you begin to adopt self-discipline, take a minute and think, what do I want? What do I really want? And then answer another question, what price would I pay to get what I want? Do you want a great relationship? Well, you have to go out. You can't sit at home. You've got to go out and interact with people. You want a great job? You've got to go for some interviews. But there are some actually keys that very disciplined people have, and here is the most important one, and this would change your life if you do it. And I had to make myself do this. It was not natural at all. You must do what you don't want to do first. People who are hugely successful do this. They do the thing they hate first of all. I worked with somebody who was morbidly obese, and I said, you know, you have to work out. When I hate working out, you know, I'm heavy, it's really uncomfortable. I said, no, not only have you got to do it, you got to do it first. And I had to do that too. You see, if you don't like going to the gym and you go, I'll go later, then something happens, the phone rings, you eat something, you think, oh, it's too late now. When you go first, you think later, oh, I've been, I went to the gym first. I feel like a winner. You got to make a very difficult call. You've got to ring someone who owes you money, or confront someone that you don't want to confront, and you wait. And all day it's hanging over your head, making you feel so bad. But when you do it first, you feel like a winner. Because people who have discipline do this. They do the thing they do not want to do first. And I want you to start saying that. I was giving a speech recently, and the guy who came on after me said, you know, I kept hearing a voice in my head going, Marisa said, do what you don't want to do first. He said, that has changed my entire business life. And all my staff remember that too. What do we not want to do? What's the worst job? Let's do that first and get it out of the way. So that is secret one to having incredible self-discipline. Tell yourself, make yourself do what you don't want to do first. And of course, in the beginning, this will be what you do, but you know what will happen? It starts to become who you are. It becomes easy. It becomes seamless. It's a bit like putting lenses in your eye. It feels seriously odd to suddenly jam your finger in your eye. But if you do it every day, comes easy, because that's how habits are formed. You make a habit, and then your habits make you. So make your habits amazing. So you've got habit 1. Here is habit 2. Take action every single day in the direction of your goals. And that doesn't mean work for 10 hours a day, but even on a Saturday or a Sunday, if you're building your business, spend 5 minutes answering 1 email, making 1 call, because that's what winners do. They don't have a day off when they are on their way to success. They take action every single day in the direction of their goals. And here's point 3, and it possibly is the most important point of all. Delay gratification. Delay the reward. You see, years ago we went to work and our boss would go, hey, good job, you did really well today. But now a lot of us don't have a boss. We work for ourselves. We work from home. You may be a coach or a marketer. You don't have a boss praising you. Without praise, your praise muscle never really grows. What happens when you work for yourself is halfway through you stop and you do something. And what you have to do in the morning is go, right, I love my cappuccino, but I'm going to do something first. Make 6 calls, send out an email, then the cappuccino is my reward. And in the evening, you've got to think of your dinner and your TV as a reward. I'm going to reward myself. And you see, if you see it as a reward, it makes you work better. It's a big problem that we take the reward first. I'm going to eat that, have a nice dinner, and I'll do all the other stuff later. And you know what happens? Later never comes. So you have to now do what we naturally do as parents. We say when you finish your homework, you can go out to play. At school, you have work, and then playtime. A parent will say, tidy up your room, and then you might have ice cream. So we are naturally wired to take the reward after the work. But what's happened is we now give ourselves the reward before the work, and then we don't feel any inspiration to do the work. So I promise you, if you adopt these 3 habits, it will change your life. Do what you don't want to do first. Take action every day in the direction of your goals, no matter how small the action is. The smallness doesn't matter. What matters is you are wiring your mind, coding your mind, firing into your mind the habits of natural winners. And then you'll be a winner. And who cares if it's unnatural? That's not important. And point 3, of course, is delay gratification, delay your reward. When I was writing my first book, it was quite time consuming, and then my publisher rang me up and said, you know what, we're bringing the date forward by a whole month, like a whole month early. I was finding it really hard to finish it, and for that month I couldn't read a paper, I couldn't watch a movie. My favorite series happened to be on at the time, and I had to record it every day. I couldn't watch it, and I kept thinking, when I finish this, I'm going to take the whole day off, I'm going to binge watch that whole series. I had a little bag full of all the magazines and periodicals that I couldn't read, but I finished it because I kept thinking about that reward. And then I did take a day and watch everything I hadn't watched, read everything I hadn't read. And all my friends rang up and said, you must feel so great, you finished your book. I went, yeah, but you know what? I kind of miss it, actually. I'd really got into that discipline of getting up, writing, working. And that brings me to one more point I hadn't mentioned, and this is also very important. When you're doing that work, praise yourself. You know, when I wrote my book, I had to keep saying, this book is amazing, this book is phenomenal. Everyone is going to love this book. That may sound incredibly arrogant, but imagine if I'd said, oh my God, this book's not very good. In fact, this bit sucks. And what if nobody likes it? And what if nobody buys it? What if, oh my God, it doesn't even get a mention? You see, the way your mind works is it believes everything you tell it. Your mind can't really future pace. And if you do anything saying it probably won't work, imagine you go on Tinder going, oh, I'm just going to get ghosted. I know that's going to happen. No one's going to want me. I'm going to open a business. No one's going to buy my product. I'm going to be a coach, but no one is going to want to be coached by me because I don't have enough experience. Your mind cannot tell the difference between fact and fiction. What you tell your mind is real, as far as your mind is concerned. If you say it, it's true. And that's why when I wrote my first book, I said, this is amazing, this is phenomenal, this is extraordinary. When I got it back and I read it, I thought, do you know what? It's actually not. I can really see in the first 3 chapters that I'd never written a book before, but then I could see after the first 3 how it picked up. But no one else seemed to see that, because it was indeed a bestseller. I always imagined it I used to tell my little girl, one day you're going to see Mummy's book in the front of this bookstore. And that's exactly what happened. And we took pictures, because I could see it. And if you can see it, you can achieve it. So do that too. And you're doing any task. Even if you're going to the gym and doing 300 sit-ups or the plank, don't go, oh my God, this is painful. Go, I love this. My body loves it. My body loves every sit-up. My arms love the plank. My spine loves this. When you're eating food, tell yourself, my body is digesting this. So remember to praise yourself, because these 4 things combined will give you phenomenal, incredible self-discipline. And self-discipline will change your life. And you know what's also amazing? When you adopt and embrace and pick up those 4 habits, at the end of every day you'll have this great feeling, I earned this, I deserve this, I'm worth it. So many of us walk around with a different belief, I'm not worth it, I winged that, I don't really deserve that, I don't deserve the praise, I don't deserve the recognition. I've worked with many, many, many international rock stars, and they have a great ability to destroy everything they've created, because they say this, but you know, I wrote that song in 5 minutes. Someone said, write a song about pain. I dashed it out, got millions of pounds, but I didn't really feel I earned that. And you know what I did? I got rid of it all. And I see that time after time after time again. But when you feel you've earned it, then you can keep it. When you feel good about it, I earned it, I deserve it, I'm worth it. Those 4 habits will allow you to begin and end every day knowing that you are worth it. Worth it is very different to worthless. Be worth it by embracing those 4 habits of self-discipline. Own them, adopt them. If they're unnatural, say, well, I'll just keep doing this until it becomes natural. You know, come on. Peeing in the toilet wasn't natural once. Feeding yourself wasn't natural. But it became natural over time. And that's exactly what self-discipline will do for you. Over time, it will feel natural. First, it's what you do, and then it becomes who you are. When it becomes who you are, your life will be amazing. So make your life amazing now. Make those habits your own. Success is not about never failing. It's not about never having setbacks. It's about how quickly you bounce back, how quickly you get back up. And I have found that the fastest way to stop spiraling and to get back up is to tell yourself that you have phenomenal coping skills. Many years ago, I worked with a girl who really had a challenging life. In fact, her mother's saying was this, I can't cope. They never went to the cinema or even the store. The mother couldn't cope with light or sound. She was light sensitive, noise sensitive. If you opened a packet of potato chips, it would make her react. Because the mother's words were, I can't cope with the noise, can't cope with the mess, can't cope with anything. My client grew up with a belief, I can't cope. And she had such an inability to cope that she ended up being hospitalized. And then she was a day patient, and then I began to treat her. And she said, you know, every week I have to go for therapy, and we sit in a circle and we have to say something good. And when it's my turn, I tend to go, well, today I saw some daffodils, it made me smile, or yesterday I saw some bees and I felt good. And I'm like, no, forget the bees and the daffodils. This is what you are going to say when it's your turn in the group to speak. You are going to say, I have phenomenal coping skills. And next week you're going to say, I have extraordinary coping skills. And next week you're going to say, I have amazing coping skills. You're going to say it in that group. You're going to write it on your mirror. You're going to say it every day. It's going to become not just your affirmation, but your statement of truth. I promise you, if you say it, you send a message to your mind. And by the way, your mind does not care if what you're telling it is good or bad, right or wrong, useful or useless, helpful or not helpful. It doesn't care. You know why? It doesn't even know. So you can choose whether to go, I can't cope, or you can choose to go, I have amazing coping skills. I can't cope. I have awesome coping skills. You get to choose. You know what you can't choose? What you do to your body when you go, I can't cope. This is driving me crazy. I'm at the end of my rope. I'm at my maximum bandwidth. I just can't cope. I can't cope, because it's not true. Human beings are actually resilient. And the fastest way to stop yourself spiraling out of control, the fastest way to stop believing that events is all gone wrong. My flight got cancelled, my contract got cancelled, my partner left me, my child got sick, I can't pay my bills, I'm losing it, I'm sinking, I'm drowning in debt, I'm sinking into grief, I can't deal anymore. The fastest way to stop that is to have some amazing sentences. I have extraordinary, phenomenal, incredible, enviable, exemplary coping skills. Sends an incredible message to your mind that doesn't think, doesn't argue, doesn't disagree, just goes, hey, whatever you say, your mind is the genie. Your wish is its command. When you say, I have amazing coping skills, your words shape your reality, and it becomes real, because it's not the events that affect you. It's the meaning you attach to the event. It's not pressure. It's not people. It's your beliefs. So going back to my client, let me call her Annabelle. That wasn't her name, but we'll pretend it was. Annabelle came back and said, you know, it's amazing. I say that all the time. I even sing that song from the Muppets, phenomenal, da 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 da, phenomenal, da 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 da. I sing, I'm phenomenal. And it's just so in my head. I sing it, say it, speak it, think it. And I feel amazing. But you know what else has happened? The nurse said to me, Annabelle, the other patients also would like to say they have phenomenal coping skills. Is that okay? She went, well, it's not my word. Marisa told me to say it. It's a word I use all the time, by the way. So she said, sure. So they all began to say it in turn, different versions of it. And then the ward put up posters all around. You have amazing coping skills. You are a phenomenal coper. And they said that that ward, that group, if you like, had the fastest discharge and the fastest recovery. So I invite you to do the same. Be a coper. Tell yourself, I can cope with whatever life throws at me. Whatever's in my path, I cope with it because I'm a coper. Not only am I a coper, I'm a phenomenal coper, an extraordinary coper. I have phenomenal coping skills. You see, if your belief is I'm going to be perfect, I'm going to find a perfect person, have a perfect home, raise perfect kids, and have a perfect job, you know what you'll be? Disappointed. Perfection doesn't exist. In 30 degrees, I can tell you that my clients who keep trying to be perfect are not only the unhappiest and the most dissatisfied, they are also the loneliest, because we don't want someone who's perfect. We want someone who is real. We want someone who can cope, because that's a great thing. Oh, I can cope and you can cope, and let's cope with life together. Let's take the good and the bad, and let's just have a great life with our great coping skills. So let's imagine that you use the word, I can't cope. I'm in overwhelm. That's a new word. I'm in overwhelm. I'm overwhelmed. If you tell your mind that you can't cope, then you need something to help you cope. That may be drugs. It may be medication. It may be alcohol. It may be food. Because you've told yourself, I can't cope. And because your mind takes everything you say as literal, It's now going to look outside of you for something that makes you cope. I was working with a girl recently who had a very bad drug problem, and I told her something. I said, you know what? Drugs are for people who can't cope with reality. Reality is for people who can't cope with drugs. And she laughed and said, I never thought about that. Drugs are for people who can't cope with reality. So if I cope with reality, that means I don't need drugs, of course. Rather, like when we're in grief, we go, I need medication. I need something to take away the pain. I need a pill. I need a drink. You see, it's a belief. It's an action. I need something out there. Medication, drugs, drinks, cigarettes, cakes. I need something out there because I've just told myself I can't cope in here. In fact, when you can cope in here, you don't need anything out there. And you can cope with grief, as painful as it is. You can cope with loss. You can cope with setbacks, because when you medicate, when you push them down with a massive tub of ice cream or with some drugs or with some alcohol, when you push them down, they don't go away. They regroup and they come back stronger than ever. All of my clients on antidepressants say, you know, it doesn't work. One of my clients came to me and said, I can't have sex with my husband. So I went to my doctor. He put me on Prozac. You know what's happening now? I still can't have sex, but I don't care. I'm just so numb. I don't care. Something was driving me crazy. Now I'm on medication and I'm just numb. I'm not up, I'm not down, I'm numb. You don't really want to be comfortably numb. You want to feel. And joy and pain are like the weave of a cloth. You can't have one without the other. We can have moments of immense joy, but there's also pain. Our parents will probably get old and die. We will get old and die. Things happen. But when you believe I can cope with anything life puts in front of me, then you can indeed cope. I lost both my parents and one of my dearest friends all in the same 3-month period. That was hard. But I was just so glad I had my parents for such a long time. I was so glad I got to be with them at the end and talk to them and say goodbye. And my father was saying, Joe, I've had a wonderful life. I've had such a great life. It's been an amazing life. He was a coper. My mother had a very different passing. And I felt no pain when my father died. Apart from I missed him, I felt a lot of pain about my mother because my mother wasn't a coper. My father was. My father decided he'd had an amazing life, and my mother didn't quite think the same thing. Be a coper. You get to choose. Remember, you can choose to be a coper. You can choose to believe you're not a coper, but you can't choose what believing you are not a coper does to your body, to your adrenals, to your cortisol levels. When you believe you are a coper, everything is easier. So be a coper all the time. Check out my next video here. I see all my clients and they all say the same thing. I'm waiting for motivation. You know what? Motivation doesn't go, here I am. I'm motivation. I'm at your door. And I've come to motivate you. You are firing new neurons. The mind